Yes, what's happening, people? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, wherever you are listening around the world. As ever, I'm your host, Dan Potts, and it's Arsenal Talk, and it's 12th man back. Before we get started, please make sure you do me a favor and go check out some of the videos I dropped yesterday. Curtis speaking absolute facts, Chris Hudson speaking nothing but facts. Also, some great debates and controversy on top of that as well from some of the clips. So make sure you check out the shows that I did with DG, Curtis, and Yardman. I'm getting quite a lot of Arsenal content creators on with me at the moment to discuss what is Arsenal Football Club and why we are so frustrated at the moment that this season is not panning out the way that we all at the start of the summer hoped. Out of both trophies being the domestic cups, and it looks like the league is totally thrown away. The Champions League is all we've got left, and it looks like we're hanging on by a thread unless we can get some players back very, very quickly. Do me a favor, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit subscribe. We've got almost 100 of you in here already, so please make sure that you do that. On today's show, we're going to be talking about William Saliba and the fact that Arsenal are trying to make him the highest paid player at the club with a new contract. It won't just be him. Of course, we've got Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Magalhaes, and of course Bukayo Saka that are all out of contract at the same time as Saliba with only 2 years left. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to mention Thomas Partey, who looks like he's trying to extend a one-year stay at Arsenal. And Emmanuel Petit has been very vocal yet again about Arsenal's players and mentality going into this season. So really good to hear some comments from him, and I get an understanding of where we're at. Good morning to everybody, or afternoon, should I say, or evening to some of you that are in the chat. We've got B. Winnie, Vinny, Prome, PSV, Jaden, Helsinki, True Gooner, Johan, Ammo, Visionary, Jimbo Jumbo, what a name that is. We've got Sean, LG, Shane, and Rodders, and everyone else that's joining or listening on catch up. Good morning, afternoon, and evening to you all. Make sure you're doing me a favor and checking out Reality Raffles. They've got unbelievable prizes. Right now, there is an opportunity to win £100,000 cash. Yes, £100,000 worth of cash. Please make sure you use the code FTM10 to get 10% off of any tickets that you buy. There is opportunities as well as cash for prizes such as the Mini Cooper. We've also got the brand new iPhone Plus catch. We've got Lego vouchers. We've got the Tag Watch, and there's tickets to Coldplay, Katy Perry, and many, many more. So please make sure that you are taking a look at Reality Raffles, who have been so good to us. So go show them some love. Make sure you're following them on Instagram as well, so you can see what prizes they have on store. There's quite a lot of football tickets they've got as well. So please make sure if you want to get to games, it's a great opportunity for you to get to games over there. So please make sure you go show them some love. There's over 200 of you in here. Hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. We're going to get up to the big 4-0 pretty quickly from what you guys are suggesting at the moment. Subscribers wise, unbelievable. We've had over 2,500 of you that have subscribed just this month. So please make sure you hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you do not miss a show. Okay, let's talk a little bit, first of all, about some of the fixtures that are being rescheduled. Now, I'm a big fan of AFC stuff on X or Twitter. I think it actually really does collate all of the information that we hear pretty well. Now, what I like about it is they're not a source. They just share everything Arsenal related, and they put it all in a nice compact pile for you. So if you're not following AFC stuff, make sure that you are, because I believe it's one of the best on X to actually get all the information from. So that's where I'm at. And confirmed, as you can see, are some fixtures. Now, we've rescheduled the April Premier League fixtures for the TV selection. We are now playing Everton at Goodison Park at 12:30 on a Saturday. So that's going to be on TV now on TNT Sports. So if you are going to Merseyside, it might be that you might have to now take a trip on the Friday evening, because my goodness, that is a very early kickoff for us to try and travel to get over towards Liverpool. So please make sure that you are aware of that now. 12:30 kickoff for the Arsenal. I never like 12:30 kickoffs. You just can't get involved as much. Not much time to go out there. Not much time to travel. Not much time to eat and drink and socialise before the games. But it's a 12:30 kickoff for TV. And also, we are going to be on TV on Sky Sports News Saturday night, 5:30, Arsenal versus Brentford. That is the Saturday, April the 12th game. So that has now been rescheduled as well. So those two will be shown live on TV. Now, I hoped at that point, and I'm sure the TV companies hoped as well, that Arsenal would be gunning Liverpool down for a title with those two games in mind. However, it doesn't seem like Arsenal are going to be able to do that now. It looks as if it's going to be one hell of a task for Arsenal, being 13 points behind Liverpool with just 11 games to go. That is a massive, massive ask now. So let's see what we do, and let's see how close we get to Liverpool. Over 300 people in here now. Please make sure you do me a favor. Hit the like and subscribe button, please. Thank you very much, people. There's only 63 likes, which is crazy. Let's get up to 200 likes, please, people. Come on. You can all do it. I have faith in you. Let's see what's next. It is, of course, the summer. Now, John Cross suggested a couple of days ago, I was with Curtis when we read this out, that Arsenal have the scope to do some big deals this summer, both in terms of PSR and spending power, but they might have to sell either Trossard or Martinelli, and they've both been targets for Saudi clubs. So, where are we at here? Leandro Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli. Now, Jamie Carragher actually said on the overlap that he believes that is the scenario, that's the side of the team that he feels is the weakest. He doesn't actually believe a striker and a right-sided player are the weakest. He thinks it's problems on the left. Now, the reason I agree and disagree with that is because I feel like we need both. I think we've needed both for quite some time now. Now, Martinelli has been wanted to be replaced by Mikel Arteta for quite some time, because if you look and go back now, he's been after Nico Williams for the past 2 or 3 transfer windows. He wanted Mudryk and ended up with Trossard, which means that he's definitely looking at that side to improve. And if we're still looking at Nico Williams in the summer, which the rumours are believed to be true, along with the likes of links of Lookman and Cunha and Semenyo and other players like that, we clearly are looking for a wide forward on top of a striker. Now, that means that one of Martinelli or Trossard has to be sold. If I'm honest, if you want my personal opinion, it would be Trossard that I would let go. He's got 1 year left on his deal. He's rejected a new contract, which means he's really got to go this summer. I don't think we're going to get a lot of money for him. If I'm honest with you, I think we'll struggle to get anything more than 25 to 35 million for Trossard. But I think that would be good for a 30-year-old who, let's be real, probably wants to finish his career over in Saudi and make some serious money before he retires. He doesn't look right at the moment, Trossard. His attitude, his head, it looks down. It looks like since that celebration against Villa at Villa Park back in September, October time, he was kind of shrugging his shoulders as if to say, why does this manager not play me? And when we have played him, he's not been great. I think a lot of people would be honest with himself and say that he is an impact player. I think Trossard's seen by the fan base, or the majority of the fan base at least, as an impact sub. And I think many, when everyone's fit, would start Trossard. I think Martinelli would start on that left-hand side. Now, Martinelli, of course, his contract is up in 2 years' time, along with Saka, Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. So we're going to be looking now at Gabby Martinelli as well, thinking, if you don't sign this summer, you might have to be sold. Now, don't get it twisted. If somebody comes in with a whopping £75 million bid for Martinelli, I'd consider it, of course. I would. In fact, I'd probably take it. But I don't think you can really realistically say that anyone's going to come in with a bid more than between 45 and 50 million for Martinelli, because he hasn't been fantastic for what? The best part of 12 to 18 months. The best season he had was 2022-23, where he absolutely flew 15 goals. And I actually believe Granit Xhaka was a massive part of that, because his passing ability, Xhaka, in that kind of attacking advanced 8 role was phenomenal. I don't think it's been replaced or anywhere near replicated. I think when you look at the upgrade that we've been trying to provide in that position, I think we failed. And I think Martinelli has definitely had a kind of effect by that. I think he has been affected by that. I don't like to make excuses for either Trossard or Martinelli, because they're experienced lads now. Yes, Martinelli's young, but at 23, he's been playing since 17. He's had 6 years of football, and he must understand that his individual performance needs to be looked at. But if I'm honest with you, I don't think they've had it great around them. Both of them are being swapped with each other. 1 minute it's Trossard, next minute is Martinelli. And then you look at what Granit Xhaka was providing in terms of an outlet, and it was a pretty good left foot that he would thread passes through for Martinelli to run onto. Martin Odegaard's got that on the right-hand side with Saka, albeit we haven't seen as much this season from him. I think Martinelli is lacking that kind of creative midfielder behind him. The left 8 has been so many different players. Marino's played there, Havertz has played there, Trossard has played there, Rice has played there, Fabi Vieira has played there, Smith Rowe has played there, Zinchenko has now played there at times. That's 6, 7 players that are chopping and changing with next to Martinelli, and he's thinking, look, can one of you guys just thread a ball through to me? Because Martinelli doesn't want ball to feet. Martinelli wants to run onto that ball. Martinelli isn't great with his back to goal, which is why I have question marks about whether he could be a fantastic 9. But actually, Martinelli is brilliant and lethal when he's running on goal and running towards players and defenders. Now, there are times that I look at his game and I think, get your head up. You need to beat your man. You're not beating your man enough. But I think he needs the ball to be thread through it. I don't think if you give the ball to Martinelli, he's going to run it round players. He's not going to spin round 2-3 players. But he is going to be lethal if the ball's in front of him. And I think we've had quite that problem a lot at Arsenal in the last few decades, really. We had players like Theo Walcott that needed to be given the ball in front of him. Players really that we've seen wide for Arsenal for quite some time now that needed the ball in front of them. Martinelli's one of those. Saka, give him the ball to feet and he'll make it hard for you. Ødegaard likewise. But Martinelli's not like that. And I think what Mikel Arteta wants is someone that can actually do what Saka and Ødegaard are doing from that right-hand side. And I don't think that he sees that as Trossard or Martinelli. Trossard is a sub, and I think he will be sold in the summer because I think Saudi are calling. And Martinelli, I think, will probably stay at Arsenal and sign a new deal. Albeit, I don't know how much he'll be getting a week. Because at the moment, I think he's on 125 or 175 or something like that. I think what he needs now is he needs to go and get a proper contract. But how much is he going to want? Is he going to want 300k a week? Probably. I don't think we should be giving him that. I think we should be giving him, just under 200. But I do think that he'll probably ask for a lot more. And then we've got to make a decision. So I think that Nico Williams has got a great chance of coming in at Arsenal if he wants to come from Spain. If he doesn't, we're going to have to look at Cunha. We're going to have to look at Semenyo. We're going to have to look potentially at somebody like Lookman. But we are going to have to get a left winger because Trossard, I don't think, is the guy that's going to stay. And he's definitely not a long-term deal anyway. So let me know in the chat. Put Trossard if you'd sell Trossard. Put Martinelli if you'd sell Martinelli. It'd be interesting to get your opinions on this because I personally would sell Trossard. But let me know what your thoughts are in the chat because a lot of people see it differently. A lot of people are saying that Martinelli might be the one to leave because obviously he's got a lot more money that we can get in for him. So that's where I'm at. Some of the chat are saying it's rating Semenyo. I saw him yesterday. He looked very good in parts. Trossard would be sold. Bronbreaker says. Comic says we're not getting Nico Williams. He isn't coming. Jamal says Trossard. Wan Dang Dougal says sell both. Tyrell says sell both. Martinelli says Prome, Trossard, both. Martinelli is not good enough. Sell Trossard. Martinelli becomes backup. I think that could be the one that we end up going with. Keep Martinelli and sell Trossard. Martinelli can gain a bit of his value back. Trossard is a good super sub. Both. Some people are saying both. I think Trossard, most people are going towards, but some people are saying sell both. That means we'd have to get two players in, though. That means as well as a Nico Williams, we'd have to bring in a Semenyo or a Cunha as well. I don't know we're going to do that, if I'm honest. I like Martinelli still. I still got some faith in him. I don't think the manager's done him any justice, if I'm honest. Curtis had a brilliant clip. If you haven't seen it, go check out the last video that Curtis said about Arteta and attackers. There's only Saka that's been successful. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Eddie, Nelson, Smith Rowe, Fabi Vieira, they've all gone. And then you look at the likes of Willian that's gone, Sterling, Trossard, Martinelli. How many of these players has he actually improved? There's only Saka, right? So there's definitely something there. In my opinion. Over 600 in the chat. Let's look how many likes we've got at the moment. We've only got 131 of you that has hit the like button. Please, people, if you like what I do, make sure you show your appreciation by hitting 2 buttons, like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. You don't have to put in loads of donations or super chats, but all I do ask is that if you are watching, you hit the like and subscribe button. That's literally all I ask. We have got a super chat from Prime. Big up to yourself, mate. It says coffee. You need some coffee, bro? I think everyone needs some coffee in the morning, that's for sure. Big up to you, bro. I hope you're well. Thank you for the super chat. And look, it's going to be one of them. I think it's going to be Trossard. And I don't know that Martinelli is wanted by many clubs. But if he was, it would have to be a serious offer. That's for sure. Let's look at this next thing here, which again, Curtis and I spoke about. This is about players coming in. And I think the first paragraph and the second paragraph kind of deflate each other. So first of all, it says Arteta's determined to oversee a major shake-up. Ooh, exciting. A big name striker and winger is on that list. Ooh, exciting. Arteta's a huge admirer of Alexander Isak. Ooh, exciting. And then it comes crashing down. But Sesko, who may be allowed to be going for 55 million, is more realistic. So straight away, it gets you excited about Isak, and then you get deflated about Sesko, who some, by the way, are excited about, but not myself. Arsenal also want to spend big on another forward option. Oh, exciting. They want a left winger. Nico Williams, top of their list. Oh, lit up the Euros. but they're also admirers of Semenyo. Now, look, I'm not saying that Semenyo and Sesko are shocking deals. I'm not saying that at all. And I think they'll both be fine. But when I listen to that straight away, it's very clever how John Cross has done that, because he's saying these are who are on our list, these four. Out of those four, we're probably more likely to get Semenyo and Sesko. Now, I'm not saying they'd be bad signings. They'd definitely be upgrades on what we've got so far. We need a striker, and Sesko is Arteta's guy, and he's the one I genuinely believe we will get. Semenyo is a really good player, and I've been impressed with him at Bournemouth. But what I will say is that coming from Bristol City to Bournemouth and lighting up Bournemouth's games is very different to playing for Arsenal. Would he be able to come and do that? Yes, he's Premier League proven. I like Cunha. I like Brian and Mbeumo ahead of Semenyo. However, I think Semenyo's done very, very well in the last season. I think he's been phenomenal, in fact, for Bournemouth. So let's see if Bournemouth even want to sell him. And the way Bournemouth are going, they're pushing for Europe, mate. They've been absolutely superb. Very lucky yesterday on penalties to go through against Wolves. But you know what? They went through and got the job done. So let's see what happens here, because at the moment, it looks as if these are the players that Arsenal are linked with in the summer. Now, of course, there's Zubamendi added to that. Juan Garcia, the goalkeeper of Espanyol, is added to that as well. They're all rumours. We don't know if we're going to get any of these players. They're all rumours right now. But apparently, we are looking big in the summer. But how many times have we heard that, people? War chest in the summer. Isak coming. Zubamendi coming. Nico Williams coming. Florian Wirtz incoming. We're going to get Yoral Harto at centre-back and Juan Garcia in goal. All of this. Harto's probably going to go Liverpool. We'll probably end up with a goalkeeper. Zubamendi still might stay in Spain. Nico Williams still might stay in Spain. Isak probably ain't going anywhere. So all of a sudden, those five players start to look a little bit like, yeah, are we going to get them? Come on. We just got to be real. We just got to be real with it. So that's very interesting, indeed. So let's see what happens there with Arsenal. I think it's going to be a big summer, as we say. Look, this is Max Dowman, and this is Max Dowman balling out. He has been absolutely phenomenal, if I'm honest with you. He is a player who's going to be very, very talented. I look at Max Dowman right now, and I truly believe that he could be a special talent. Now, Max Dowman is a player, let's be real, that a lot of people have spoken about very highly of, just like they did with Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Now, I will say this for all three of them. All three of them look special. It doesn't mean all three of them are going to make it. It certainly doesn't mean all three of them are going to flop. But we have seen very, very mixed opinions from some of the following players: Bukayo Saka, Jack Wilshere, Ashley Cole, Tony Adams, Rocky, Merce, Parler, Kevin Campbell, all success stories through our academy at Arsenal, right? And then you look at some of the others: Quincy Owusu-Abe, Lupoli, Dan Crowley, J. Emmanuel Thomas, Chuba Akpom, Bedik Afobe, Charlie Patino. All these guys were spoken of to be the highest level. They're all going to be Fabregas level, Ashley Cole level, Bukayo Saka level. They're all going to be success stories. Sometimes you have to kind of be cool with it and calm with it. But I'm excited, and I'll tell you why I'm excited with these three. I've seen these three play at a young age. I saw Ethan when he was 16. I saw 15, really, wasn't he, when he came on against Brentford? I saw Miles Lewis-Skelly at a young age as well. And I've seen Max Dowman. Now, the reason I've seen Max Dowman from his age of about 13, 14 to now 15 is because he's a local boy to me. So he was at Stanway Rovers over at Colchester in Essex, which is, I'm an Essex boy. So he's local to me. So I really want to kind of see sentimentally where he's going, but also as an Arsenal fan where he's going, right? And the three of them look special. Now, I have seen Joe Willock, Maitland-Niles. Who else is there? Someone else can throw one at me as well. Maitland-Niles, Joe Willock, and there was someone else, but I've completely forgot. Eddie Nketiah. There we go. Even Smith Rowe and Reece Nelson, right? I've seen them all come through, and I thought, yeah, they look all right. They look all right. Let's see what they can do. With these three, I don't think they look all right. I think they look unbelievable for their age. I never saw Saka doing what Ethan Nwaneri's doing at 17. I never saw Ashley Cole doing what Miles Lewis-Skelly was doing at 18. Ashley Cole come through around about 19, 20, I think. Might have even been 21. Bukayo Saka really started to get into the Arsenal team around about 19 years old. 18, 19. And then I look at Max Dowman and I think, you are head and shoulders above everybody on that pitch. It's absolutely insane how good he was the other night in the youth game. Now, I don't want to play too many clips because it might try and demonetize me, right? Copyright me. But my goodness, how special does he look? He looks a phenomenal talent. One that I actually do think could go very, very far in the game. At that age, wow. I don't know if he's going to make it at Arsenal. I don't know if he's going to make it at England and country. But I will say this, he's going to make it in the game. He looks absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. That's what I will say. Super chat I'm going to read out. Jamie, you need a striker yet complain about Sesko. Okay, the reason I'm complaining about Sesko, actually that's the wrong word. I'm not complaining. I'm saying that there are better strikers out there. Now, listen, I'll take Sesko. If you're going to offer me Isak and Sesko, I'm taking it. But as Sesko as the main number 9, I think it's a risk. Is he ready right now? He's 21 years old. Is he going to take us across the line? It's a big ask. A big ask. A big up for the super chat, man. Big up. Look, I've got to be real. Saka, Ashley Cole, Rocky, all those guys made it at the highest level. I don't think any of those players yet are anywhere near that. They were all special. But I tell you what they could be. Because Ethan Nwaneri is scoring 7 goals already, right? With assists on top of that. Miles Lewis-Skelly is getting player of the match performances against teams like Man City. And he's come on against Liverpool and he's done well against these teams, starting in them. He's got Champions League games already under their belt, both of them. Been stars in the Carabao Cup already at 17. Now, that weren't happening when the Wenger days were here, when he allowed youngsters to come through. Even Ramsey and Wilshere and Ox and these guys coming through. No. Arteta so far, there's only Saka really that you can say, wow, he's come through and he looks like he's carrying the team at times at the age of 18, 19. I'm looking at Ethan already thinking, you're the one who's lighting it up. You're the one who's getting me out my seat. So that's where I'm at right now with what I've seen from them. Those two look special. And Max Dowman, just remember the name. Just remember the name. It's looking good. It really is looking good. Look, let's move because Emmanuel Petit has been talking. And I like Emmanuel Petit for a number of reasons. And I like him because he remembers what it's like to winning. And he raises the standards and keeps them high. And what I like about it is that he's actually talking like a fan here. Emmanuel Petit says, history repeats itself with Arsenal. I refuse to blame injuries. Look at the performance against West Ham. Injuries don't mean you play with that level of intensity when you have a chance to put pressure on Liverpool. Arsenal players have to blame themselves. They had a chance to close the gap and they lost at home to a team who was 17th in the table. There are no excuses. This is what he's spoken to. Casino Hawks, Emmanuel Petit has spoken here about that. Now, I will tell you why I think it's harsh and I will tell you why I think I agree. What I disagree with is blaming the players. The players are the last people that I blame right now. I blame the owners, the board, and the manager and the staff ahead of the players because they are coaching them. The manager is selecting them. The manager is supposed to be bringing the intensity and the tactical nous into how to get through teams. And the board and the owners have left us short. All of those people deserve blame before the players. But where I agree is that the players that walk on the pitch have at least got to show a little bit of intensity. Now, this is where I agree. Overall, I can't blame them. But against West Ham, you could actually look at the players and say how many of them played well. You can look against Forest and say how many of them have played well. Because right now, we've got our best goalkeeper, our best back four, our best midfield, and one of our trio that starts. The other one is a 17-year-old kid that's absolutely lighting it up. And the other one is a striker that we keep switching around because we're not quite sure that we've got one at the moment. So other than the striker and Nwaneri, do you think the team of Raya, Timber, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Nwaneri, Trossard, and Marino should be losing to West Ham and drawing to Forest? Maybe some people think that we should. But I do look at that and I think, yeah, it's not good enough. Because other than a striker, we've got everybody else, really. Nwaneri, yep, he's replaced Saka. We're missing Saka. But we've got Odegaard. We've got Partey and Rice. We've got a back four. We've got our best goalkeeper. And Trossard's playing ahead of Martinelli, some of which say should start against him anyway. So I'm missing Havertz and Saka in this team at the moment. And look at it. It's a mess. And people are saying we're crisis and we can't do it. So with 2 players missing, we're at crisis. That means you've done your job in January or the summer. So as much as I understand where Petty's coming from in terms of blaming players, I appreciate that at the times you can blame the players. But for me, I'm looking more at the manager and above because they've put us in absolute mess here. They really have. They really, really have. But Petit's a winner. You know, Petit is a winner. He absolutely is. And we deserve to be looking at the kind of intensity of what it was like and the standards of what it was like when he was playing for us. You know, Petit in 1998 was unbelievable. Anyone who watched Petit in 98 and 99 would know that he was an absolutely phenomenal player. Him and Vieira together in that midfield, it was an absolute joy. We were very lucky that Gilberto Silva came in 2001 because if it wasn't for that, you know, players that were there, Parla, Edu, were superb. But that partnership was so good. So good. So he can look at blaming at players. I mean, it was right in the chat. Dave says they're all to blame. I agree with that. But I loved Emmanuel Petit. He was an unbelievable footballer. And I look now and I think, yeah, I can understand why he's frustrated. And what I love about Emmanuel Petit as a pundit is he'll come out and say it how it is. He doesn't care. He's not trying to get a job at Arsenal. He's not trying to sit in their press office. He's not trying to sit next to them and try and become Mikel Arteta's best mate. He will call it out, just like Roy Keane calls out Manchester United. But there are other pundits, and I'm not going to name them because I love them all, right? But I would go as far as to say there is only Paul Merson and Emmanuel Petit, along with Tony Adams when he does do bits and pieces, that call the club out. Thierry Henry, likewise. They're the only ones that do it. All of the others that are linked to Arsenal right now, they all suck up to them. Oh, it's frustrating, but look at the injuries we've had. Oh, we just need to get more money in the summer and go again. I know deep down they're seething like we are, but they don't say it because they know that they won't be welcome in and around the club. And they've got to pay their bills. They've got to get their job, right? And these pundits are just, for me, covering up for what's wrong with the club. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that. Almost 1,000 people in here, people. Do me a favour, hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe to the channel as well. We've only got 235. There's nearly 1,000 of you in here. Let's get that up to 600 likes, people. Come on. We can do that quite easily. Hit the like and subscribe button, people. So that's Emmanuel Petit. Not happy with where things are at Arsenal. Let's move on to some more pressing and exciting, potentially, news. So according to Graham Bailey, Arsenal are readying a new contract offer for William Saliba that, if accepted, will put him on par with the club's highest earners. They'll look open to talks in the coming months with a view to getting a deal over the line before the start of next season. Now, I hope these talks are positive. I'm crossing everything. I'm praying. Please sign the deal, Saliba. Obviously, Saka, Gabriel, and Martinelli have all got contracts up at the same year. They all run till 2027, so we need to now get this sorted this summer. It's good that we're ready in a contract offer for him. It's really good that he's looking to potentially talk of being one of the club's highest earners because that's what he deserves. In my opinion, alongside Saka, he's our best player. I think Saka and Saliba are the two right now that have to stay at Arsenal. If we lose either or both of them, it's long. It's long. I don't want to see that happening. So how much is that going to cost? Well, Havertz is the most highest paid at 290 a week, which means Saliba's going to need 300 a week, isn't he? Yeah? Saliba and Saka, potentially Gabriel, are all going to want between 250 and 300 a week. They are all going to want that, which does cost a lot of money, people. Yeah? We're probably going to need about 60 million this summer to keep these three happy. That's probably what we're going to need. We're probably going to need that. They're probably going to want between 15 and 20 million a year in wages. So, look, man, he has to stay. He absolutely has to. He has to stay. I'm sorry, man. I will be gutted if we lose Saliba this summer. Now, I've accepted he's going to play for Real Madrid at some stage in his career. I truly believe by the time he's 28, he would either have played for Real Madrid already for a while or he will be at Real Madrid. But he's 23. We can't let him go at 23. I regretted letting Fabregas go at the age of 24. That was too young. He had so much more to give, and we should have brought him back to Arsenal instead of letting him go to Chelsea. I don't want it to be a scenario where Saliba's playing for Madrid at 24, 25. Now, look, I appreciate and understand why you would want to leave because Saliba and Real Madrid sounds like a match made in heaven. He's the best centre-half in the world, in my opinion, right now. I look at what will be happening in the next decade, and I think if you could pick one player to play for you for the next 10 years, it would be Saliba, right? Everyone would pick him. But I look right now, and I think if we lose him and it breaks up that partnership of Gabriel and Saliba, I would worry. Now, there are rumours and suggestions that Real Madrid want him this summer alongside Gabriel. Now, how much would that cost, by the way? You're not selling Gabriel for any less than 90 million, and you're not selling Saliba for any less than 150, right? So we're potentially going to make just short of 200 to 250 million on these two. But I don't want to make that money. I want them to. You ain't going to replace these two. You ain't going to replace Saliba and Gabriel out there. Yeah. There's good defenders out there. Diamande looks good from Sporting Lisbon, but he's not a touch on Saliba. I like the fact that we're linked and Liverpool are linked with Joel Harto, who looks like a potentially good centre back from Ajax that can play left back, but he ain't a touch on Gabriel. So if you're going to try and replace Saliba and Gabriel, you're going to have to go and buy Van Dijk and Kenyatte level. Murillo and Milenkovic look a fantastic partnership at Forest, but, you know, who would you rather have? Those two or Gabriel and Saliba? You're taking Gabriel and Saliba. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So, look, Madrid want defenders. It ain't just him they want. They're linked with Jared Branthwaite. They're linked with Dean Howson over at Bournemouth. Maybe they're looking to get them alongside somebody big like Saliba. They've still got Rudiger. They've still got Militiao, who's injured. They've still got the other guy, the young guy who's gone through potential troubles at the moment off the field. Can't think of his name now. So these are the players that they've got right now. They need two centre-halves. They need two centre-halves. So it's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be interesting. I hope he stays at Arsenal. If he signs another 4-year deal, that'll take him through to the age of around 27, 28, where I think then he'll look to go to Real Madrid. And it might be that he looks to sign a 4-year deal and after 2, he'll leave. But we need to get him signed, man. We need to get him signed. We really do. We really do. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I hope he signs. And if we're going to make him the highest paid player at the club, then because of the fact that we've got bloody Havertz, who's on an unbelievable amount of money, we're in a position where he's going to have to be on 300k. And then what happens is once he's on 300k, yeah, you've got Saka, who's on 300k. You've got Gabriel, who wants that much money. You've got Partey, Jesus, so they're all on mad money. It's a madness. It's an absolute madness. And I just feel like that's the position we put ourselves in. Now, years ago when we were told under Arsene Wenger that personally, Kolasinac, Mustafi, trying to remember the names now, so long ago, Bellerin, all on mad money. Ozil and Aubameyang, of course, on mad money as well. I didn't think we'd be back in that scenario again. But you look at the wage bill, it's absolutely scary at Arsenal. That Kieran Tierney and Zinchenko and these players that aren't wanted, Jesus, they're all on mad money. 175 a week. Jesus on 265 a week. Partey's on 250k a week. This is absolute mad money. Mad money. So we need to be paying the right money for these people. Like, let's be real. We need to be paying the right money for these. These are our two most important players, Saliba and Saka. And we need to get them both on 300k a week and signed up for another 4 years because we cannot be anywhere near losing or thinking about losing these players. He is so important. And I truly believe that if Saliba wanted to stay at Arsenal, he could be a Tony Adams. That's how important he could be. Now, to do that, he's got to win trophies. He's got to lead us. He's got to be one of our most consistent players. He's got to be the one that we look up to. I truly believe he could be that because I never saw Tony Adams at 17, 18, 19 when he was playing for us and captaining us. What I will say is that from what I've spoken to and people that have watched him at that age, he was nowhere near Saliba's level. When Saliba was 19 or 20, there was absolutely nowhere near Tony Adams being anywhere near that level. Now, Rio Ferdinand was probably the closest that I saw live. When he came through at West Ham, went to Leeds and then Manchester United, I thought, who is this guy? He looks absolutely unreal. For a player, a defender that can do anything and a defender that can play in all eras, he's probably one of the best ever. Yeah. You look at William Saliba, I've got to say, I think he can play in any league. I think he can play in any era. I think he's got everything you need in the attributes of a defender, whether it be power, height, physicality, aerial ability, ball playing, tackling, interceptions. He wins on everything for me. I think he's an absolutely phenomenal talent. And I've got a lot to thank Unai Emery and Hussam Fahmy and Gazidis and Raul Sanlehi because they got this guy in. It wasn't Arteta and co and Edu. So when we signed Saliba, fair play to Emery. Because alongside Tierney, Saliba, Saka and Martinelli, they're the only 4 that are at this club that weren't signed by Mikel Arteta. Because 2 of them come through. One of them come through the ranks. Martinelli and Tierney and Saliba were all bought by Emery. So fair play. Because for me, really, really impressive. So yeah, I'm very, very, very happy with what I see from William Saliba. My problem is he going to stay and sign that deal long term? We all want him to. I'd love him to, yeah? Love nothing more. Get the likes up, people. Let's get it up to 600. We're at 300 at the moment. Let's get it up to 600, people. All you got to do is click the like button and hit subscribe. Let's do some of these super chats before we do go any further, because there is further news on other players. We've done Promes, you said Coffee. We've also done Jamie. You need a striker, yet complain about Sesko. I've spoken about what reasons as to why I would prefer players over Sesko, but wouldn't be unhappy if we got him. Prome says you can get top players on free, Dan. To be honest, I think we've missed that boat. I think most of the players that have gone that are free have all gone. If I'm honest with you, there's no one at the moment I look at that's free. Jonathan David is the only one that I know is on a free. Salah, Van Dijk and Trent are all free. If you fancy going and signing those free for Arsenal. I did make a joke that actually alongside Saliba and Gabriel, if they want him, Real Madrid, they can go and get Alphonso Davies, who's now obviously staying at Bayern Munich, Trent, Salah and Van Dijk. Can you imagine if Real Madrid just went and did that? Boom, they'd win everything. Guna John says, aside from the usual disappointment of the upcoming window, how many players would you want and what are the names? That's a really good question. Okay, I'm going to be realistic because I believe we have to be realistic in this game. I'm not going to go and start signing the likes of Haaland, Salah, Mbappe, etc. I'm happy with getting a goalkeeper in that is somebody in the ilk of Juan Garcia. From what Guns has told me, he's not bad over at La Liga. So let's go with him in goal. David Raya number 1. Garcia's right a cover. At right back, I'm happy because we've got Ben White and Timber. At left back, we've got Lewis Skelly as well as Calafiori. Timber and Tomiyasu can play there. Tomiyasu, that's a joke, isn't it? And then, of course, we've got Gabriel and Calafiori from the left side, but I feel like we need another defender to replace Kivior because Zinchenko, Tierney and Kivior, I think, will be going. Tomiyasu, we can't rely on. I don't like Timber and Ben White covering there. I think we need another centre-half that can play in the centre. Someone to basically upgrade on Kivior. Yoral Harto is a good shout from Ajax. I don't think it'll be a Diamande or a Mark Guehi. I think they're going to be too much money and going to want first-team football. So we're going to have to go and get a centre-half that's upcoming. In midfield, I'd go and buy Zubamendi to replace Jorginho. I'd give Partey a 1-year extension. Rice and Marino are fine, but I need another 8. The one that I would want would be Morgan Rogers, but that's going to cost you a bomb. Obviously, Odegaard and Waneri will be in that kind of attacking 10 role. And then on the right-hand side, I'd go and buy Brian and Mbeumo from Brentford. I think he'd be perfect cover for Saka. I like Lookman, but some people like Williams. But I would have Cunha or Lookman ahead of Williams. But I'd be happy with Nico Williams because I think he's got potential to be very good. I'd sell Trossard, keep Martinelli. I'd sell Jesus as soon as I could. Keep Havertz as backup and I'd go and buy Isak. So yes, that's going to cost a lot of money. If you can't get Isak, it's Gyökeres for me. Yeah? If you can't get Gyökeres, people laugh, but I'd take Harry Kane for 54 million release clause. And if you can't get that, then you go for Sesko after that as your 4th choice. That's what I would do. So you're looking at around about 100 million for Isak, maybe 120. You're looking at around 40 for Brian and Mbeumo. You're probably looking at around 50 for Nico Williams or around that for wingers that I mentioned. You're probably looking at 50 for Zubamendi. So already that's 140, 200, that's 250 million already. And then you get your goalkeeper in for 20 and your defender in for 20 or so. So you're looking at £300 million, people. Yeah? But when the player's sales, on top of that, it's probably £200 million. Because we've got to get rid of Marquinhos for a few million here and there. Lokonga's got to go for a few million. Tavares has got to go for a few million. Tierney's on a free. Zinchenko for a few million. Kivior for a few million. They're the sort of 6-7 players you're going to have to look to get rid of, right? So with Partey and Jorginho, like they could be up in contracts, you're going to have to look there at wages and say, do you know what, wage bill, money we're getting in, that's about 100 mil, 200 million spent overall. That's what we need to be doing. So a lot of people will be laughing, going, how are you going to afford that? Well, that's the sort of summer we're going to have, man. That's the sort of summer we're going to have. So, look, another box-to-box midfielder if Morgan Rogers is too expensive, as some people will say, because I do think he'd probably cost about 70 million plus. I like Eze, and I think he can play in the attacking 8. I like Eze, and he can play wide. I like... I can't say his name. I'm going to butcher his name. The AC Milan midfielder. Let me think of him. He's Dutch. Does anyone remember his name? Reinders. I like the look of him. Reinders. He's the guy that I think could be a very, very good player as well. So there's some other options. Sorry, it was very long. Reinders. There we go. Well done, Brombricker. Well done. But a great question, John. Great question. So how many players? A goalkeeper, a defender, midfielder, or 2 midfielders actually, 2 wingers and a striker. So 6, 7 players. Sorry, that's what's going to have to happen. That is what's going to have to happen. Reinders is really good. Yes, he is really good. I do like him. And I think that's a realistic signing actually as well. Tijani Reinders. There he is. Tijani Reinders. How old is he actually? Let's have a look. I know he's highly rated at the moment. So where are we? He's 26, Dutch professional midfielder, plays as a central midfielder that's kind of more box to box, that can play in more of a holding role, I think, as well. He's got quite good kind of attributes for that role. So that's who I'll be looking at. Big up to Shane, who's a new member. If you would like to become a member, once you've hit like and subscribe, make sure that you hit join, and then you can pay a minimal fee each month to the channel, which really helps it content-wise. So thank you so much. Suze, big up to you. Says, let's be honest, as long as Havertz and Jesus are here, Saliba, Gabriel and Saka need to be on 300k minimum. I agree. And that's what we're going to have to do, is we're going to have to go and put these guys on 300k a week, which is going to definitely affect us PSR-wise, right? That's the way it is. Prime says, damn, we're nervous about Saliba leaving when we really should be worrying about Arteta staying. Look, Arteta staying, whatever. You know, people keep asking me, what would you do with Arteta? You don't know what I'd do with Arteta, yeah? What would you think should happen to Arteta at the end of the season if we don't win anything? You all know. I'm not going to say it again. I keep saying it. I don't think he's good enough, and I'm not convinced that he can take us across the line. If that's negative, fine by me. Call me negative all you want. But until he proves that he can win a major honour or a trophy, I'm going to have doubts over him. That's just the facts. It's just the facts. But he is going to be staying, bro. So, Prome, I know that we're looking at the worrying and about Saliba and co. Arteta's going to stay. And I think there's a lot of Arsenal fans that believe that if Arteta stays, the other players will stay. Let's see if they're right. Sue says he's heard a rumour that Liverpool want Isak for 120 million. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they keep Trent, Van Dijk and Salah and add Isak? Wow. I think they'll clear up next season. Look, that's not going to happen. I think Trent will go to Real Madrid. I think Van Dijk will stay at Liverpool. I have question marks over Salah. If Salah wins the Champions League, the Carabao Cup and the league this year, I think he'll go. Because he's like, completed it, mate. I'm off to Saudi to go and be a god over there. If they don't win the Champions League, they win the Premier League, I think he could be tempted to stay in the Champions League. If he wins the Champions League and the league, he'll win the Ballon d'Or, which is absolutely deserved. And I think he should this season from what I've seen around Europe. So that would probably allow him to leave and go to Saudi Arabia. So what do Liverpool fans want? Do they want to win those trophies and lose Salah? Or do they want to win one and lose out on the other and then try and keep him? You obviously want to go for the trophies, right? But I look at that now and think, yeah, Salah could be leaving. In terms of Isak, I think he stays at Newcastle, whatever, for another season. And then I think he makes a decision after that. And if they don't get Champions League, that could hurry that up this summer. But I still don't think even with the Europa League that they'll sell him. That's my honest opinion. Kyle, big up to you, bro. Sell both, not good enough. Big up, Dan. I think you're talking about Trossard and Martinelli. Look, a lot of people are saying that. And I would not disagree massively that either of them are not good enough to start for Arsenal. Right now, they're certainly not proving why they should be given a chance to stay at the club. So that could be quite interesting. Big up to Billy. Make sure you're following Billy. Aston Villa, mate, flying at the moment. I'll tell you what, this is a great example, by the way, yeah, of how to strengthen in January. Now, I'm not saying I wanted Asensio, Rashford. I made it very clear I didn't want Rashford. They obviously brought in that Donny from Dortmund, Marlon as well. Brought in Garcia as well. All looking good, aren't they? Villa are looking good at the moment. Late push for Champions League. Still in the Champions League. Do not write off Villa doing something unthinkable in that competition. That's all I'm saying. I know they didn't win the Conference League and everyone's laughing, but Unai Emery was unbelievable in Europe. And do not rule out them going past Club Brugge pretty easily and doing the unthinkable against Liverpool. Because that Villa Park on a European night is rocking, mate. And I understand and appreciate Anfield is as well. But I'll tell you what, I'm not saying they're going to win the Champions League, but I think they could do quite well in that competition. And I think they'll do well at the end. I mean, Unai Emery is definitely the right fit for them. And I think that when you look at Rashford and Asensio, they've been good, man. They've been good. So we're sat there doing nothing because there was no one available. And what Aston Villa have done is, yeah, there's no one really available. But you know what? We've got to have to sell Duran because he's causing problems and he wants to go. And we'll go and get Marlon, Rashford and Asensio. Goal, assist, goal so far. Unbelievable. Gunnar John says, Arteta's a good coach, not an elite manager. The sun does not shine out of his backside. I care about Arsenal winning, not whether he stays or goes. Correct. We should not be trying to build a CV for our football manager. That is not what we should be doing. We're Arsenal Football Club, yeah? We're not Wigan. We don't try and give managers chances and give them little projects and phases and processes. We should be winning or see you later. And I believe Arteta is a good coach. And I truly believe that one day he'll win something somewhere. Whether it's going to be at Arsenal or not, I'm not sure. He's not an elite manager. He's just started. I think that's fact. The sun doesn't shine out of his backside like he believes and so others believe. And I care about Arsenal winning, not whether he stays or goes. Absolute bang on. Totally agree. Delete. Mega deal. Still lower wages than 29. Yeah, it'll have to be. 29 is on ridiculous wages. But if we're happy to put Havertz on that much money, why are we not giving that to Saka, Saliba and co? That's what we should be doing. That's absolutely what we should be doing. So let's see what happens with Saliba. Look, there is more news. It's not just William Saliba that we're here to talk about today, because as much as it looks like he could be staying and we'll have to put him on that mad money, it also looks as if there are other players that we need to be discussing. So past this Bergkamp thing and past Kai Havertz, who's recovering, the next person we're talking about is Thomas Partey. Now, it looks as if Arsenal were very interested in keeping hold of Thomas Partey. Apparently, Arsenal were looking to extend Partey's contract by 1 year, and they've held talks with the players' reps. Partey's open to a contract extension. However, he's not rushing to make a decision because there's interest from Barcelona and Juventus. Now, these are very, very early stages, and a lot of the sources are particularly unreliable or not fully reliable, I should say. But Thomas Partey at Arsenal has been phenomenal this season. I think he's clearly been our best midfielder. Some are saying he's been one of our best players. I think if we can keep him fit, I would keep him for 1 year as backup. And I'd use him as the Jorginho of this year for next season. If we are going to be buying in somebody like Zubimendi, then Partey will not be playing every single game. Now, I still personally believe that Declan Rice is a 6. And I do want to see Declan Rice playing in the 6. Unfortunately, Mikel Arteta seems obsessed with playing him in the 8. Now, I don't hate him there, but I don't like him there. He's had okay games there. He's had bad games there. Declan Rice has had a poor season. Let's just say it how it is. I think he's being misused by Mikel Arteta. Next season, I would love to see a 4-2-3-1 with Martin Odegaard in the 10 and then a double pivot of Partey and Rice or Zubimendi and Rice if we get him. That's what I want to see. But unfortunately, Mikel Arteta seems so obsessed with putting Odegaard on this right-hand side attacking role, Rice on this left-hand side attacking 8, and then Partey, or what will now be Zubimendi in the middle. So I truly believe next season, if we get Zubimendi, it will be Zubimendi, Rice and Odegaard, and then Partey will be back up if we keep him. That's what I think. Now, look, people are saying Odegaard in the 10 is crazy, but he's crazy at the moment. Personally, I would have Rice in the 6, Odegaard in the 8, and go and buy a Florian Wirtz. That would be my ideal. That ain't going to happen. He wants him in that attacking right 10. That's where he wants him. I don't want that. Yeah? And Odegaard, the way he's playing, I don't even know if he's worthy enough of starting at the moment. He has not been good. He looks like he needs a complete rest and a reset. So our midfield this season has massively let us down. And I would happen to say that although we've not got a striker, and although there's definite needs for a striker and a forward line, I don't think that our midfield has been very good at all. There's only Thomas Partey that's actually come out of our midfield so far looking pretty good. Because Jorginho's hardly played. Rice has not been as good as last year and has been out of position, in my opinion. Martin Odegaard has dropped off completely. And other than that, no one else has got near it. Marino hardly played Wanyeri, couple of games here and there in the 10. Trossard started there when Odegaard was out, got dropped out of it. It's not been good, man. Now, what does worry me, and a lot of you might cringe at this, but I'm going to say it. We get a striker. Do not be surprised if Kai Havertz drops back into that attacking 8. If he does that, I think he's a fool. If he does that, I think he's a fool. But don't be surprised, people. He's done it before. He's done it before. And every time he does it, we drop points or we lose. But he still consists to do it. Still persists, should I say. So I'm frustrated. Really frustrated. Because I get to that stage where I don't have trust in the manager not to do stuff like that. So look, let me know in the chat. Would you keep Thomas Partey? Yes or no? Just put yes or no. Would you keep Thomas Partey and give him another 1-year deal? If you say yes, put yes in the chat. If it's no, put no. Because I'm really interested to understand your feelings on this. Because Jorginho, I think, is going to go to Brazil. I think that's clear. Marino's staying. Rice is staying. We need to go and sign 2 midfielders. 1-6, 1-8. That's why I've mentioned Zubimendi and Morgan Rogers as the 2 that I'd go for. Otherwise, Reinders over at AC Milan. A lot of you saying no. Some saying yes. Well, yes, keep Partey. No, yes if he's back up. Where are we? Yes, I would do polls, but it just takes too long. Yes, no, yes, no. Wow, we're getting quite a lot of 50-50 here, because you've got a lot of no's and then you get a lot of yeses coming in here. Wow, I would say we're 50-50 on that. I would say we're 50-50. I'd keep him for a year as backup. Yeah. Partey's already proven for a long time that he can't stay fit. Yeah. He might need to take another contract offer. So it might not be that we put him on 250. It might be that we put him on near 150. Yeah. But it's a 1 year. And at 31 now, I think he is. That would be all right for me. That would be all right. 1 year as backup is where I am with Thomas Partey. Because I think he's been that good. And I don't think we've got a player that's like him. I don't think we've got a player that's like him. I think on the ball, he's comfortable. I think he anchors the midfield. I think he's better than Jorginho. I think Jorginho's range of passing is probably that little bit more, but I think that's what he brings. It's probably his main attribute, Jorginho. He slows the game down a lot more. But Partey, for me, is better in transition. And I think Thomas Partey is better. When Thomas Partey has a good game, Arsenal usually win. That's what I will say. When he has an okay game, we're not quite the same. That's how important and pivotal I think he is. There was a lot, I think 18 months ago, I said, when everybody's fit, Thomas Partey's our best player. And a lot of people were like, yeah, you're right. Because when they're all at the level, Thomas Partey is elite, mate. But he ain't elite enough. He just ain't. And he ain't consistent enough with it. But this season, he's been brilliant. I think he's been one of our best players. I think you can put him, Raya, and then you've probably got to look towards the youngsters, to be honest. Lewis Skelly and Ethan, to be honest. Because Saka's now injured. He's been great as well. But other than that, who's been great this season? Gabriel? He's probably been the best player this year, I'd say. But other than Gabriel, I don't know. Who else? So let's see. Let's see what happens there. Let's close by looking towards, or forwards, should I say, to the next few games. Now, I'm never looking forward to it at the moment because watching Arsenal at the moment is difficult. I can't lie. It's very difficult. I don't like the fact that we are still not trying to change anything up. We are still in the position where Mourinho up top is the option for Mikel Arteta. But we do need to look forward. We do. Before we do that, let's do a couple of super chats that have come in since I've been chatting. Oh, it's just the one from Guna John. John, big up to you, bro. Thank you for the super chats, guys, as well. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit the like button. There's not even 400 likes yet. Come on, people. Let's get up to 600 pretty quickly. Come on. We need to get 1,000 likes on this one. Come on. Guna John Bon says, I think we need, let me start again. I think we might need more of a 10 instead of an 8. What do you think? Someone like a Wirtz. Spot on. Martin Odegaard is an 8, in my opinion. I don't think he's a 10, right? And I think Florian Wirtz would be perfect. That would be if it was me, Rice, Odegaard, Florian Wirtz, that would be my midfield. That would be my midfield. If we're not going to get a Reinders or a Rodgers, if we're not going to look to go and get Zubimendi, play with that. I just don't think he's going to want that. I don't think he wants that. Florian Wirtz is a wicked player. Absolutely wicked. And some might disagree with this and might go mad and go, "Whoa, mad opinion." I prefer Wirtz to Musiala. From what I've seen from both, I think Florian Wirtz is so, so good, so intent, unbelievable technical ability, but we're not getting him. It looks like Manchester City are getting him to replace Kevin De Bruyne. And Musiala's not going to go. What I would like to see is a Florian Wirtz, right? So that's where I'm at. Some people don't want Ødegaard in the team anymore, which, if I'm honest with you, I think is incredibly harsh because I think he's proven in the last 2 seasons to be someone that we would look at 100% and say, yep, you're good enough. But I have to be honest with you, I've been disappointed this season. And the midfield has not been good. So let's look forward. Let's look forward. And looking forward at the moment is the next 4 games. And the next 4 games ain't pretty, people. Now, on paper, they're not pretty. In terms of who we're playing, we should be okay. PSV struggled to get past the go-ahead Eagles at the weekend. Why? Because they've got us on Tuesday night. And they're clearly going to be taking this more seriously. And rightly so. We've got them Tuesday. I'm not confident. I'm going to go for a 0-0. That's my prediction. I think it will be a stinky 0-0. If anything happens in this game, it will be them that score. A lot of people have said they think we're going to lose this 1-0. And if we do lose it 1-0, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for us to go and score 2 goals in any of the games till the end of the season due to the fact that we are not scoring goals and haven't got anybody up top. Until Martinelli and Saka come back in around about April time, I believe it is, so we've still got 4 weeks or so, I think we're going to struggle in the next few games. I really do. So that's where I'm at, right? That's where I'm at. I'll go 0-0 on that one. I think they have got players that can hurt us. We know about Bakayoko. We know about Noah Lang. We know about Luke de Jong. We know that they've got players that can hurt us. Hopefully, we've got players that can hurt them as well. We'll have to see. Then, on Sunday, next weekend, we go to Old Trafford. Now, usually I would be buzzing for this one. But if you look at the last 3 results there, it ain't been good. We've drew, we've won 1-0, and we've lost 3-1 in the last 3 years at Old Trafford. It's not been good. We've lost to them this season already at home on penalties in the FA Cup, which was dire. We beat them 2-0 from 2 set pieces at home, but it weren't convincing. And I think this could be a stinky 0-0 as well, or a 1-1. I just think Man United, they always turn up against us. They're absolutely horrendous, horrifically bad. But I don't fancy us to beat them because we're bad at the moment. They will be rubbing their hands together going, thank God Arsenal aren't they Arsenal of a couple of years ago. Might be able to pick up something here. Every team will go into this game now against Arsenal thinking they can do something. So I don't think we're going to beat PSV and I don't think we're going to beat Man United. Now, I said back a few weeks ago with Judges that this was the game I had down to drop. I had Forest and Man United. I didn't have West Ham, so I've already dropped more than I expected. But I thought Forest, Man United and Chelsea, we might drop something. The other game I had was Newcastle at home because we never beat them. But on top of that now, without a striker, we've got Fulham to welcome. We've got Everton away. We've got Brentford and Palace, which are never easy. They're on fire at the moment, Palace. I think in the form table, there's only Liverpool there ahead of them. So it's not easy at all. So Man United. Amorim, I'm not happy with him. If I was Man United manager, I would have serious concerns at the moment. However, I don't blame him solely because the players are absolutely guff. But you just know they could do something against us. You just do, man. You just know that they could. And that's what I hate about it. That's what I hate about it. Then it's the PSV game at home. Now, I am going to that one with my dad. And I'm looking forward to it in the respect of that it will be a Champions League fixture. And it's the only thing we've got left so far. But I'm not looking forward to it if the first leg is poor. If the first leg is 1-0 loss or 0-0, then it's going to be horrible. I don't expect these 2 legs to have any more than maybe 2 goals in it. And I think it could be a 1-1 go to penalties or a 1-0, win to someone or something stinky like that. I just don't expect it to go well because Arsenal defend well. Arsenal have got their midfield, but there's nothing up top. We're relying on goals from Ethan Nwaneri or Trossard on the night. That's what we're doing. Now, I'd love to see him change things up. In the league particularly, I'd love to see him change things up. We've got options now at the back to go free at the back. Calafiori or Ben White can be brought into a back 3. Timber and Lewis Skelly as wing-backs. Kieran Tierney can play wing-back. To be fair, so can Zinchenko. In midfield, Partey, Rice or Jorginho can all play in that double pivot. and you've got Nwaneri or Ødegaard that can drop in behind two forwards, which could be Nwaneri and Trossard, or if it's not Ødegaard playing there, then you could look to play Merino up top alongside Trossard to try and be heading some stuff down to him, to who I still think is the best finisher at the club, Trossard. So there's options you've got there, and you've changed that. But at the moment, he's going like for like with 4-3-3, and he's just sticking Merino up top. Now, it hasn't worked for me against West Ham and Forest. And if he still tries to do it now, and he doesn't really try to change it, I'm going to question what's going on. Now, some are saying, what more can he do? Well, I've just given you options. Try playing two up there. Try playing someone else through the middle. If you want to play Merino, play him up top with someone. I just don't know what we're doing. It's just poor. It really is so poor. And then after PSV, we've got Chelsea at home. Chelsea at home. So we've got 2 away games against PSV and Man United and 2 home against PSV and Chelsea. And I've got to say how bad Chelsea are at the moment. I still think they've got more of a threat than us. I still fancy Palmer to have a good game. Pedro Neto to have a good game. Enzo's been good in the last few games, to be fair to him. Look, I don't know where we go from here. But if we do not manage to get through against PSV and we can't pick up 3 points against Man United or Chelsea, I think we have to wave the white flag and tap out and try and cling on to a Champions League spot in the league. Now, it could go the other way. You could surprise yourself and start to get a system working. But this is now solely on Mikel Arteta. And this is why we need to be looking towards the manager more and saying, you're on £15 million a year. Coach your way out of this one. Because right now, you and your board and ownership have left us in a mess. And it's something now that we have to look at doing and improving on. So that's what we need. We need to look now at seriously having a look and how we get through this time, because it hasn't been good. Suj says, if this was our summer, I'll be content, not happy. Gyökeres, that's a good signing. Kimmich on a free. Do you know what? Not really exciting, but you take it. Lookman, I agree. Think that would be a good signing. And then Florian Wirtz. Keep Setford as our backup. We need a backup left back. I don't think we're getting any more left backs. I hope we don't anyway. Calafiori and Lewis Skelly will have to do there now, and Timber can play there if he has to. In terms of Setford, yeah, backup goalkeeper, that's fine by me. I don't really care who a backup goalkeeper is. You've got a striker, a midfielder, a winger, and an attacking midfielder. Yeah, I do think we're going to need another centre-half, Suj, because I think they're all going to leave, if I'm honest. Not Saliba and Gabriel. I don't think they will leave this summer. I could do if Real Madrid really wants them. It depends how much they want them. But yeah, it makes sense, to be honest. That does make sense with what you've said there. Another left-back would just be scary if we got another left-back. Imagine, goalkeepers and left-backs, how many of them have we actually bought now? How many of them have we actually bought now? Like, real talk. What is going on with how many we've bought? It's scary, isn't it? I look at the situation now and I think, why are we in that position where we're still going and buying left backs and goalkeepers? It really is an absolute madness. So look, that's where I'm at. Hopefully we can start to enjoy the weekend, and I hope you've had a good weekend. I get so confused on what days we're on, but it's Saturday and Sunday this weekend, Sunday today. So we've hopefully had a good weekend from all of you, and you enjoy some of the FA Cup games. Now, I'd love to be playing. I'd love to. I would be. But yeah, we've had a nice break from it, ain't we, people? Let's be honest. We have had a nice break. I can't see anybody live at the moment that I collab with, so I'm going to love you and leave you on this note. Please make sure that you do go and follow Reality Raffles. They've got unbelievable prizes at the moment for you guys to get involved in. If you do go in for any of the ticket prizes, make sure you use the code FTM10 at the moment, because there are some unbelievable opportunities for you guys to get involved in, and I'm going to show you them before we close. We've got Reality Raffles website. Make sure you're following them on Instagram as well. Make sure you go to their website. The links in the description. Coldplay tickets available. Tickets for Victorious Festival over in August as well. There's also tickets if you are a fan of Katy Perry or Jamiroquai. And if there's instant cash prizes that you want, then it's win up to £100,000 of cash. So there's a great opportunity there to get involved in some of their prizes. So make sure that you are doing that and go and give them a follow and a like on Instagram. Big up to all of you guys. We will see you next time. Take it easy. And as always, up the Arsenal. Laters, people.